Part 67. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yoon-Jeon Mu Shuet. Chapter 661. I clearly remember that there were dozens of them. Seeing this, Lu Ling bit her lip and said weakly. I took them out to sell. Lu Yu. How did you sell them? I just wrote your signature and sold them on the campus network. Lu Yu. I was humming stupid. Will you die if you don't write my signature? Brother, you are famous, so writing your signature will cost you a higher price. Lu Yu. Then are you still planning to use AI to change the face and replace the male protagonist with me? Oh my god. Brother, how do you even know this? Lu Yu. It's over. I'm really going to die? Chapter 0500, Bombs and Fire, Solution. Oh my god. Brother, how do you even know this? Lu Yu. It's over. I'm really going to die? Seeing Lu Yu's trembling body, Lu Ling became scared. Brother, don't be angry. If you really can't do it, just hit me, I won't cry, Lu Ling begged. Lu Yu. Suddenly, he sighed. Forget it, it's okay. What can I do? I really can't beat my own sister. It's numb. I can only say it's numb. This made Lu Yu regain a little bit of the feeling when he was still in Yuanwu City. However, Duolala looked expectant. Shall we watch it now? Lu Yu is here, we can learn the moves in the movie. Lu Yu. What the hell is this tiger wolf talk? Damn. The little loli is not innocent anymore. Lu Yu took a breath and forced himself to calm down. Children can't watch this kind of thing. Why? No reason. No, I just want to watch it. Lu Yu, you are so bad. You watch all the good things by yourself. As she said that, Duolala grabbed a disc and turned on the play button at lightning speed. Then, a series of wonderful sounds came out. Outside the palace. At this moment, there are many students from Orion College outside. Everyone was originally prepared to come here to take pictures or get autographs because of Lu Yu's arrival. Now they are patiently waiting for Lu Yu to appear. At this time, passionate voices came from the palace. Wow! Is the battle going to start when Lu Shen comes back? Oh my god! The gunfire is continuous. The sound of guns is exciting. It feels familiar, my youth is back. The students of Orion College were excited. Inside the palace. As soon as the main film started, the little loli was so excited. Oh my god! Is this a love movie? It's so good. Xiao Ling was even taking a small notebook to record something. What are you writing? My thoughts after watching the movie. Lu Yu. The only one who is normal is Xiao 11. Her face turned pale and she didn't dare to raise her head. This made Lu Yu feel a little relieved. Finally, someone normal came. But the next moment, Lu Yu's face fell again. I saw Lu Ling forcibly pulling Xiao 11 to look at the screen. Xiao 11's body trembled a little, but soon she blushed. She actually stopped struggling. Lu Yu. Wow. Enough. He kicked the player with a cold expression. I, Lu, swear to be irreconcilable with gambling and drugs. Today is the end. With that, Lu Yu went upstairs. Lu Ling and the other two looked at each other and went upstairs. Brother, I think we need to practice. Lu Yu. Brother, don't be afraid, I have contacted the best orthopedic hospital in the entire Orion Cantal ever for you. Lu Yu. Lu Yu, don't worry, I will definitely not let the interstellar court sue you for molesting a minor. Lu Yu. Looking at the three women standing in front of him, Lu Yu's face was completely black. It's over. No hope. Completely depraved. Lu Yu took a deep breath and said. I'm not feeling well now, another day. It's okay, brother, I prepared a super large dose of knockout drug for you, you will definitely know nothing after drinking it. Then the pot will be thrown on us. Lu Ling blinked. Lu Yu. Are you sure? Sure, sure, Lu Ling hurriedly said. Dorola reached out and hugged Lu Yu. I want to be with you forever, Lu Yu. Xiao 11 also nodded under Lu Ling's pressure. Okay, okay. Lu Yu. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 662. Okay. Then I won't be polite. As he spoke, Lu Yu put his hand on his waist. 3 hours later, Lu Yu looked at the tearful Xiaoling and the other two with an expression of pride. Is the bamboo shoots and pork fried at 7 Wolves okay? Brother, you are too much. Lu Ling looked unhappy. Only Duo Lala was excited. Lu Yu, do it again. Lu Yu. Damn. This girl has this attribute. Shocked, Lu Yu quickly reached out. Stop, that's enough. Seeing Duo Lala's unsatisfied expression, Lu Yu was shocked. Cruel. Cruel enough. This hasn't grown up yet, what will happen if this grows up? Lu Yu couldn't help swallowing his saliva. At this moment, a clamoring voice came from the palace. Feng Chu, are you there? Yu Yu. Lu Yu was stunned for a moment, and his expression became puzzled. I'll go downstairs. As he said that, Lu Yu walked downstairs. Downstairs, Yu Yu squatted at the door. When he saw Lu Yu coming out, he was immediately surprised. Brother, how do you feel? Not bad. Of course, I have something to ask you. Yu Yu smiled. Seeing this, Lu Yu hesitated a little. Red light district. You guessed it? Bang. Yu Yu flew. You came all the way to see me for this. Hee, going to the red light district is just a side job. I have something serious to do. Yu Yu's expression became serious. Seeing this, Lu Yu said helplessly. What is it? Well, our president wants to see you. No, it should be said that there are many big shots who want to see you. Yu Yu thought about it and said. Hearing this, Lu Yu raised his eyebrows. Why do you want to see me? Is it not okay to just see you? Then forget it, everyone should not waste time. Lu Yu waved his hand. He was not interested. If it was just because those big shots were curious about me, I had to go there. What's the difference with a monkey? In the past, Lu Yu might have gone there to try to build relationships, after all, he was a big shot anyway. But now, sorry, it's a waste of time. No matter how big a shot you are, it's useless if you can't change the current situation. Seeing this, Yu Yu spread his hands. What if I tell you that there is a solution now? Huh? Instantly, Lu Yu frowned. What did you say? Just say that there is a solution to the problem now, Yu Yu said. Lu Yu, a little uneasy. Are you sure? Not sure yet, isn't this just calling you over to discuss it together? You kid is now a big shot, very famous. Yu Yu looked envious. This is not what he was bragging about. The previous movement of the human emperor was so loud that it suppressed the super large black holes in the entire universe. This undoubtedly attracted the attention of many powerful beings. The human emperor is the strongest of the gods in the last era. He once commanded the entire universe. And Lu Yu is now related to the human emperor, how could he be ignored by them? When Lu Yu heard Yu Yu's words, he also pondered for a moment. Is your zero association also involved? Of course. Yu Yu nodded. Hearing this, Lu Yu no longer hesitated. Okay, I'll go with you to see. Lu Yu agreed. If there is really a solution, Lu Yu doesn't mind working hard for it. Chapter 0501 Hangsu Super Galaxy Cluster, Lu Yu, a hidden dragon in the abyss. After saying something to Xiaoling, Lu Yu left Orion College. On the wooden boat, Yu looked happy. I heard from the president and others that this solution has a high probability of success. Maybe. Lu Yu nodded. He was calm in his heart. After all, the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. If you don't have hope at the beginning, you may be happy with the result at that time. Yu didn't think too much about this, and happily took Lu Yu to a certain direction in the universe. On the way, Lu Yu looked at Yu. Yu, what do you say if you really can't solve it? What else can I do? Wait for death, but it's a pity that you don't go to the red light district with me. What a pity. Yu sighed. Lu Yu. Why is this guy's mind full of red lights, red lights? Did he get fined for running red lights in his previous life? Complaining in his heart, Lu Yu looked around. The life planets along the way were still the same. Obviously, the creatures on these planets still didn't know what happened. Calm in his heart, Lu Yu waited at ease. The wooden boat was very fast, but even so, it still traveled for a day and a night before stopping. It's Lu Yu said. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 663. After hearing this, Lu Yu looked forward. I saw a magnificent palace floating in the universe. Where is this? Lu Yu asked in confusion. Why does it look so unfamiliar? Yu shrugged. Hangsu Supercluster. Hangsu Supercluster? Lu Yu reviewed his memory and was a little confused. If I remember correctly, this supercluster is at least hundreds of superclusters away from this supercluster, right? Don't tell me that hundreds of superclusters have all been united this time. Lu Yu was in doubt and walked towards the hall with Yu. Before they got close, a guard came forward. Yes, Yu threw a silver token over, and the guard immediately made way. My lords, please come in. Soon, the two stepped into the palace. Inside the palace, there was a different world, and it seemed that there was another world hidden inside. Lu Yu was surprised when he stepped into it. I saw a green mountain and flowing water, which was completely different from what I imagined. And Yu took Lu Yu and flew straight to one of the Kiun mountains. After a while, after passing the clouds, Lu Yu saw a palace on the top of a mountain. The palace was majestic and magnificent. Before he got close, Lu Yu could sense the pressure in the palace. Not simple. Yu and Lu Yu entered. There were already quite a few people in the palace. These people had different faces, and the only thing in common was the pressure on them. The weakest one was actually at the level of the General Domain Master. This surprised Lu Yu very much. Hundreds of people, all of them were at the level of the General Domain Master? This scale is probably a bit big. When Lu Yu looked at these people, these beings were also looking at him. After sensing the breath of Lu Yu and Yu, they all frowned, but seemed to have thought of something. When they looked at Lu Yu again, they were all curious. The genius who is related to the human emperor is here? Yu pulled Lu Yu and walked to a middle-aged man. President, this is Lu Yu. As Yu spoke, Lu Yu looked at the middle-aged man. He looked ordinary, just like an ordinary person. There was no strong pressure on him, and there was no feeling of superiority. Hello, I am the president of the Zero Association. Lu Yu thought for a while, and the middle-aged man stretched out his hand to Lu Yu. Lu Yu also stretched out his hand. Hello, Lu Yu. Yes, my friend is really not simple, and his aura is as restrained as a dragon in the abyss, the president of the Zero Association praised. Lu Yu waved his hand, very modest. It's just so, not a dragon in the abyss. This made more people look at Lu Yu. Everyone was curious. There was no way, the human emperor had appeared in various places in the universe before, and the pressure was too terrifying. After a little inquiry, I knew what was going on. The most important thing is, this Lu Yu not only has some kind of connection with the human emperor. Moreover, he has also entered the forbidden area. Many powerful people looked surprised. Being able to enter the forbidden area, Lu Yu is definitely a unique existence in the universe now. Facing so many eyes, Lu Yu's expression was normal. Panic. To be honest, Lu Yu was a little bit. After all, there are so many powerful people from various super galaxy clusters. If someone has secretly surrendered to the weird existence and suddenly attacked and killed him, it would be troublesome. But he was not panicked. The old man was still following him, and he was not afraid of anything. Seeing Lu Yu's calm performance, many powerful people couldn't help but show surprise in their eyes. It is really not easy to be able to do this kind of mentality in such an occasion. And at this moment, someone suddenly sat down at the main seat at the top. Okay, everyone, please be quiet. A cold figure came out, and the next moment, a beautiful figure walked out. I saw a woman in a moon-white gauze sitting on the main seat. The next moment, everything around was quiet. Lu Yu looked in the direction of the voice, his eyes slightly surprised. What a beautiful woman! Lu Yu exclaimed. The woman on the main seat was indeed amazing. Under the moon-white gauze, her graceful figure was looming. Although she was wearing a veil on her face, her eyes alone were as bright as stars, dazzling. Her aura was even more ethereal, and it was hard to tell whether it was real or fake. Yu also had a look of obsession. Feng Chu, beautiful, right? It is said that this person has been sleeping all the time, and was awakened by the commotion caused by the human emperor. Is there such a thing? Well, the solution was proposed by her, and it seems that she is not a creature of our era, Yu said. Lu Yu raised his eyebrows when he heard this. A creature from the last era? That is indeed interesting. And from what Yu said, it seems that this woman is not simple. She existed in the same period as the human emperor? Lu Yu guessed in his heart. At this moment, the woman looked at Lu Yu. I won't waste time talking nonsense with you, let's get straight to the point. What is your relationship with the human emperor? The woman looked at Lu Yu, and Lu Yu's body tensed up in an instant. The next moment, hundreds of eyes fell on Lu Yu at the same time. Yu, who was next to him, quietly retreated to the side. Feng Chu, I won't delay you from attracting the beauty's attention. Lu Yu. After a moment of silence, he said calmly. I have the blood of the human emperor, Lu Yu said calmly. As soon as this was said, the whole audience was in an uproar. Many powerful people looked horrified. Although they had guessed it long ago, no one expected it. Lu Yu actually has the blood of the human emperor. Even Yu was shocked. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 664. Dig. Feng Chu, you hid it so deeply from me. Lu Yu. He didn't know what to say, so he just looked at the woman. The woman's beautiful eyes flashed with brilliance, and she stared at Lu Yu closely. Then, she stepped forward and pinched Lu Yu's chin under his dull gaze. Human Emperor, you have lied to me for so long, do you finally dare to come back? Chapter 0502. You are the Human Emperor, the new Human Emperor Lu Yu. Human Emperor, you have lied to me for so long, do you finally dare to come back? The woman laughed and said. Lu Yu looked at those eyes that were as bright as stars, and his eyes were a little confused. No, just speak nicely. Why are you pinching my chin? Forget about pinching my chin, am I the human emperor? Ahem, I'm not the human emperor. Lu Yu quickly slapped the woman's hand that was holding him away. Joke. He is really not a human emperor. This kind of thing cannot be faked, it may lead to great danger. When the woman heard what Lu Yu said, she snorted coldly. Even now, you still refuse to admit it. Lu Yu. Seeing the shocked looks around him, Lu Yu said bravely. Sister Goddess, I just have his bloodline, I'm really not him. Lu Yu defended. When the woman heard this, her face turned slightly cold. You have his bloodline, you come from the ancestral land, and you have his sword. Not long ago, you calmed down the strange turmoil, don't you? The woman's words left Lu Yu speechless. Even you came over. Digging Feng Xiao, you emperor. Digging. It's so hard for you to hide it from me. You will be my thigh from now on. Saying that, Yu hugged Lu Yu's thigh. At the same time, many powerful men from the surrounding super galaxy clusters looked at Lu Yu and suddenly became respectful. The human emperor, the most powerful person in the last era, and the leader of the gods. Now, it appears again. Especially since the human emperor's methods not long ago proved that his strength is probably still at its peak, this makes many powerful people even more excited. With the emperor here, there is no chance of solving the strange turmoil. The woman even smiled brightly. Human emperor, whether you admit it or not, the problem is before us now. The Great Wall will not last long. With a confused look on his face, Lu Yu took the main seat. Looking at the many extremely excited strong men below, Lu Yuren was dumbfounded. I am really not a human emperor. You want me to solve a problem, how should I solve it? I am a Star Master and I will risk my life. Don't tell me, this is the so-called solution? After coughing, Lu Yu looked seriously at the hundreds of powerful men below. Everyone, I want to tell you something very seriously now. As soon as Lu Yu said these words, the whole place fell silent. Everyone looked at Lu Yu expectantly. The human emperor, is he going to lead the entire universe in battle again? Under the gaze, Lu Yu stood up and spread his hands. Everyone, I am really not the human emperor, I am just an ordinary Star Lord. Don't have such high expectations, okay? With that said, Lu Yu showed off his aura. It is indeed the Star Lord level without a doubt. There was no other way, Lu Yu could only show his cards. He also wanted to pretend to be this, but reason told him. Can't pretend. Impersonating the emperor not only replaces the name, but also takes on his responsibilities. Even if Lu Yu doesn't want to admit it, he must admit it. I am still too weak. Below, everyone fell silent instantly after hearing Lu Yu's words. Their eyes looked at the woman. The woman stared at Lu Yu coldly. Human emperor, you can deceive them but you can't deceive me. Why are you unwilling to admit your identity? These words made Lu Yu almost collapse. Sister. It's okay for me to call you sister. If you put this hat on my head again, I will have to rush outside the Great Wall to show you my life. Feeling depressed and wanting to vomit blood, Lu Yu tried to prove himself. But after thinking about it, he couldn't think of any solution. He has the blood of the human emperor, but the human emperor has disappeared again. It appeared some time ago because of my own reasons, and then it happened again because of my own reasons. If yellow mud falls off your crotch, isn't it the same? Damn it. Good. You all think I am the emperor of humanity, right? I really don't believe you guys listen to me. Okay, let's show our cards and stop pretending. I will be the human emperor. Lu Yu's heart skipped a beat, he smashed the jar and simply sat down safely. Erlang raised his legs, feeling relaxed and at ease. However, the woman's brows furrowed instead. No, you don't have the magnanimity of the human emperor. Lu Yu. You really want to die? I told you, I'm not. Lu Yu saw the opportunity and wanted to clear his name. But the woman laughed instantly. Okay, human emperor, it turns out you still want to lie to me. Lu Yu. CTMD. Ha ha ha, Mr. Lu, you are going to kill me with laughter, you idiot. The old man's voice sounded in Lu Yu's mind. Lu Yu was anxious inside. Stop laughing and think of a way for me. What are you thinking of? You are the emperor of humanity. Old man, are you starting to trick me too? Lu Yu's heart collapsed. The old man's cold snort came out. The old emperor is no longer here. You have his blood and everything except his strength. With your identity, you are the new emperor. You just lack some symbolic ceremonies. Lu Yu. Is it the ceremony I lack? It's his strength. Then I have no choice. The old man's words made him silent. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 665. To be honest, this title, he really doesn't want it. A Star-Lord level human emperor, if he speaks out, it's embarrassing. What should we do now? Lu Yu asked in his heart. The old man's voice sounded quickly. They call you the human emperor, so just accept it? Doesn't it feel uncomfortable to be the human emperor? This is just a part of the universe. When the news gets out, more people will come to see you. It's interesting to say that. That guy has already forgotten everything. He made such a big fuss not long ago, I'm afraid it's just to build momentum for you to rise to the top. The old man's words made Lu Yu feel confused. Good guy. Are you really going to be the human emperor this time? But you are hesitant, can you be more decisive? Why don't you come back and live with the old man now? Lu Yu. If you ask me, you can do it as a kid. Now that the whole universe is in disarray, it would be a good idea to use some force to tighten them up. It gives them some hope. The old man's voice came out. This time, Lu Yu did not refute. The current universe is indeed a piece of sand. Each super-galaxy cluster is basically in a relatively independent state, and no one can control the overall situation. It's just that Lu Yu really doesn't know. Can the influence of a human emperor really conquer them all? Give it a try. With calm eyes, Lu Yu looked at the many powerful men below. A kind of coercion that uniquely belongs to the bloodline of gods spread out, regardless of realm, and Lu Yu was enveloped in a layer of golden light. Suddenly, the eyes of many powerful men were filled with awe. The pressure of the human emperor. The woman even smiled happily. Human emperor, what should we do now? Lu Yu. I came here specifically because I wanted to know what to do. Now you ask me what to do, how do I know? Facing so many eyes, Lu Yu took a deep breath. Everyone please leave now. Chapter 0503 The Identity of the Human Emperor, Lu Yu with headache. Let's break up. This is the only thing Lu Yu can say. Ask yourself what to do. I don't even know. Do you want me to tell you that everyone should go back to his own home and find his own mother? But there wasn't as much discussion as Lu Yu imagined, and many powerful people actually left after hearing this. See you again, Emperor. I think the human emperor has an idea. That's how it should be. There was no panic on the faces of many powerful men, but instead they breathed a sigh of relief. They were not afraid of Lu Yu speaking, but they were afraid of Lu Yu not speaking. Now that Lu Yu has spoken out, he still wants people like him to go back. I'm afraid there's no solution already. The human emperor is still powerful and can last another era. That's how it should be. We were too worried before. Looking at the strong men with relaxed expressions, Lu Yu was a little confused. Digging. Can't you hear what this means? Is it a slogan for disbandment on the spot? How come everyone is so confident? After everyone left, you finally had the chance to come up to them. Your Majesty the Emperor, when you let us go, are you preparing to fight alone outside the Great Wall to completely wipe out the weirdness? You looked at Lu Yu with admiration. Ever since he just learned about Lu Yu's true identity, he has been filled with admiration in his heart. Lu Yu fell into deep silence when he saw this scene. Yu, I said there's nothing I can do, do you believe it? You are joking again, Feng. Oh no, human emperor, this is not good, I believe you. Go first, go first. With that said, Yu also left. Seeing Yu's steps becoming lighter again, Lu Yu felt heavy. What the hell? How come you all misunderstood me? I really have no choice but to tell you to go home and wait. Why did you really just go back and wait? Even Yu and Lu Yu suddenly felt a sense of alienation brought about by their identity. This human emperor, what can you do? There was no one in the hall, and the woman looked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu glanced at her, shook his head and slumped in his seat. I told you, I am not the human emperor. No, I am the human emperor. It is also wrong. I am not the new human emperor, I am the old emperor. As he spoke, Lu Yu wrapped himself around. The woman's eyes gradually became interesting. I didn't expect that after not seeing you for so long, your personality has changed a bit. You are not as taciturn as before. The woman said, lying on Lu Yu's body. Lu Yu. With the warm and fragrant soft jade in his arms, Lu Yu didn't move at all. His forehead began to sweat. Found a DJ? No, if the human emperor sees his confidant. I'm afraid that my blood will suddenly boil and I'll explode. In fact, Lu Yu already felt his whole body getting hot. No, sister goddess, I am really not the human emperor, I am the new human emperor. Lu Yu pointed at his face. Look, do I look like a human emperor? It doesn't look like that. Isn't this right? Lu Yu was overjoyed. But it feels like it. Lu Yu. Don't touch me, I'm afraid of death. Lu Yu wanted to get up, but couldn't move. You still can't forget her. The woman pressed Lu Yu on the seat and looked at him coldly. What's wrong with me? Why don't you have any feelings for me? In fact, during the last period of time, you settled her down and ignored me. Am I not a woman? Do you know how much I paid to wait for you? The woman said in tears, her eyes gradually firmed up. Lu Yu wanted to die in his heart. Human Emperor. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 666. What the hell did you do back then? Why should I pay it back? Don't get excited, listen to me, I am really not the human emperor. I am the new human emperor. The old emperor is no longer in this universe. Humph. No matter what you say, you can't run away today. The woman snorted coldly and stretched out her hand. The next moment, the surrounding space was chaotic, and it seemed to appear in a woman's boudoir. Lu Yu was thrown directly onto the bed, and then the woman's hand reached out to his clothes. Don't. The top was undone. Lu Yu's face turned pale. I can't do it. It's really impossible. If the human emperor knew that I gave her a little fangirl, can't he stab me to death with 2 swords? However, no matter how hard Lu Yu struggled, it was all in vain. The difference in strength is too big and there is nothing I can do about it. It's about to be pushed. Lu Yu closed his eyes in pain as he looked at the woman who was about to release his last line of defense. At this moment, a cold sword was pressed against his neck. You are not the human emperor, who are you? The woman's eyes were like frost, her eyes were wrinkled, and she glared at Lu Yu. At the last moment, she realized something was wrong. If he were the real emperor, he should have suppressed himself long ago. Lu Yu. I already told you that I'm not the human emperor. He is going to collapse. I have said myself n times that I am not the human emperor, but you insist on treating me as the human emperor. It's fine now. Put a sword on my neck and say I'm not the emperor of humanity. Hearing Lu Yu's words, the woman's eyebrows relaxed, but then they quickly furrowed. No. You are just using my psychology to lie to me. As she spoke, she stabbed out her sword slightly, causing Lu Yu's skin to bleed. Say. Are you weird? Lu Yu. He looked at the woman with broken eyes. Sister goddess, I'm just an ordinary genius. Can you let me go? If I were a weird existence, would I kill the people on my side? Would I fill all the black holes? The most important thing is, how do I let the emperor come out? How do I move the Great Wall? Lu Yu's move immediately made the woman hesitate. Could it be that you are really the human emperor, but you just say that for some reason, you cannot use your true strength? In an instant, the woman's sword fell to the ground, and Lu Yu wiped the blood in a panic. Fuxi, yes, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to do it. I was too afraid of losing you, the woman said to Gillen while wiping. Lu Yu. Speechless. He was completely speechless. It seems that the human emperor doesn't like this girl for a reason. Just say one sentence to Dig Cao, and she can brainstorm an epic masterpiece. Thinking of this, Lu Yu started to have a headache again. Sorry. What to do? Ha ha ha, I didn't expect you to be in trouble too. The old man's voice sounded, full of gloating. Lu Yu. What to do? It depends on what you do, kid, but be careful that the human emperor will come back one day and chop you with a sword. Lu Yu. I am absolutely amazing. Looking at the woman who was busy helping him get dressed, Lu Yu fell into silence. If you show your cards, you will die. If you don't show your cards, you will die. He couldn't beat him with his hands, but he was hacked to death by the human emperor while enjoying passively. Okay, can I pretend to be dead? So, Lu Yu just sat there and stopped talking. When the woman saw this scene, she bit her red lips tightly. Human emperor, I know you don't like me. But I really don't know what to do. The woman said, her eyes filled with tears. Seeing this, Lu Yu couldn't help but sigh. May I have your name? Chapter 0504 Goddess Xiantian goes to the Great Wall again. May I have your name? The woman was stunned when she heard this. Human emperor, don't you remember me? Lu Yu. Seeing this, the woman said, I am the goddess Xiantian. Goddess Xiantian, right? That's it? Lu Yu had an expression of sudden realization. The woman is also happy. You finally remembered. No, Lu Yu said. These words made the woman's expression become painful again. Sure enough, you have forgotten me in the years. Lu Yu. Let's talk about business. Do you have any solution to this crisis? Lu Yu said as he put on his clothes. Goddess Suanation's eyes became confused. Human Emperor, I came to you just because there was no way to solve it. Lu Yu fell into silence again. What a mess, completely spread all over myself. Lu Yu finally understood what the old man said. There is really a big mess hidden among the relics of the moon god heaven. Now spread it all over yourself, you can't even run away. I'm so sad. Lu Yu sighed. Is there anyone still there in the old heavenly palace department? Everyone should have died in the battle, except me and that woman. Which woman? Lu Yu couldn't help but ask. The expression of Goddess Xiantian turned cold. It seems that the human emperor has really forgotten everything, not even her. Lu Yu. Moon god, he asked tentatively. Goddess Xiantian snorted coldly. Sure enough, I remembered it again. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 667. Okay. Lu Yu spoke again. Where is she? You arranged it all back then. Only you know where she is. The tone of the goddess Xiantian became more and more dissatisfied. Hearing this, Lu Yu felt like he was going to go crazy. Another one is missing. While thinking, Lu Yu thought of the last message that the human emperor left for him. The Great Wall. The coordinates that the human emperor left for him pointed to there. Could it be that the human emperor is somewhere in the Great Wall? Lu Yu didn't quite believe it. If that was the case, why hasn't he shown up yet? Hesitating inwardly, Lu Yu stood up. Where are you going? Leave for a while, Lu Yu said. The goddess Xiantian quickly followed. I'll go with you. Your current strength is too weak. I can't let you die. Looking at the determined goddess Xiantian, Lu Yu nodded reluctantly. Why reluctantly? He was afraid that if he showed too much joy, this woman would put another sword on his neck. Where are we going? After walking out of here and reappearing in the starry sky outside, goddess Xiantian asked. In response, Lu Yu looked at the distant starry sky. The Great Wall. Go to the Great Wall. What do you want to do, Emperor Ren? Don't ask so many questions, Lu Yu said. This tough commanding words actually made goddess Xiantian really quiet down. She tore the space apart, and Lu Yu and goddess Xiantian stepped into the space. To be honest, Lu Yu was actually a little nervous. To go to the Great Wall, you must pass through the abyss. What if those self-proclaimed people want to stop you again? And the facts proved that Lu Yu was indeed overthinking. When passing through the abyss was quiet. The self-proclaimed people seemed to have disappeared, and only the abyss existed. Goddess Xiantian looked at the abyss with a cold face. Just a group of cowardly escapees. Her words seemed to have caused something. A cold voice came out. Heh, you are so courageous, but what is the result? The gods still disappeared, and the ending cannot be rewritten. This made the goddess Xiantian furious. Human Emperor, let's kill them now. Lu Yu hurriedly stopped her. What a joke. It's a waste if we go up. Xian Nu, calm down. Lu Yu's words calmed the goddess Xiantian down. Human Emperor is right, your strength has not recovered yet, and you can settle accounts with them later. After these words came out, there was no response from the abyss, which made Lu Yu feel relieved. He was afraid that if these self-proclaimed people really took action, it would be troublesome. A long time after he left, several figures appeared above the abyss at the same time, staring at the direction of the Great Wall. Is he really the Emperor? I don't know. A few days ago, a strong aura appeared in the Great Wall, and the Great Wall was moved. Maybe it's true. There's no hope. This time is much more terrible than before. No need to say more, just wait for the result. The abyss was quiet again. In the void, Lu Yu and the goddess Xiantian moved forward. Except for a little twist in the abyss, the journey was safe and sound. A few hours later, looking at the magnificent Great Wall in the black fog, Lu Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, we're here. Standing under the Great Wall, Lu Yu looked at this creation of the gods that had stood for who knows how many years, and his eyes were full of emotion. The goddess Xiantian stood in front of the Great Wall, tears flowing in her eyes. Emperor of the people, do you still remember being here? Okay, we'll continue reminiscing about the past later. Now we have important things to do, Lu Yu said. He was afraid that the goddess Xiantian would reminisce, so he gave him a passionate kiss. Then I will be dead or I will be skinned alive. After offering the ancient bronze box, Lu Yu had no time to urge it, and the city gate opened by itself. The goddess Xiantian looked at the corpses on the roadside, and the grief on her face became heavier. Lu Yu was also silent. As a person of that period, the goddess Xiantian must be very upset when she saw this scene. From another perspective, if I were the same as her. For some reasons, it might be the same in the next era. I was very sad. In this case, Lu Yu and the goddess Xiantian moved forward much slower. Along the way, Lu Yu was also alert to the surroundings. However, because of the presence of the goddess Xiantian, the black fog automatically dissipated. There were some giant corpses eroded by the black fog on the road again, but they were easily killed by the goddess Xiantian. Lu Yu followed all the way, but he was relaxed and comfortable, and he didn't feel nervous at all when he first came in. Not bad, not bad, this is an ace fighter. Lu Yu's eyes flashed with a strange light. From this point of view, it doesn't seem so bad. Just as Lu Yu was thinking secretly, the goddess Xiantian in front of him suddenly stopped. Human Emperor, something is wrong. What's wrong? Lu Yu asked casually. The goddess Xiantian pointed at the wall with an angry face. Which damn thief stole these lights? Chapter 0505 The Great Wall was robbed and the wall was broken. Which damn thief stole these lights? The voice of goddess Xiantian echoed in the entire corridor. When Lu Yu saw it, his heart immediately trembled. Trenching, discovered. But on the surface, his expression was calm. Even, he became angry as well. Yes. Who stole these stellar lamps? Lu Yu said seriously. Goddess Xiantian looked back at him. Human Emperor, isn't this called the Hongyang lamp? I remember you named it after you. Lu Yu. Time has passed, and it is inevitable that we have forgotten it. Between gritted teeth, Lu Yu stepped into the role. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 668. There is no other way. If you don't step into the role of the human emperor, you will be hacked to death here. When goddess Xiantian heard Lu Yu's words, she nodded. It makes sense. Call. Lu Yu let out a long breath, but before he could relax, goddess Xiantian made a sound. Humph, I want to see who dares to steal a Hongyang lamp. As she said that, she was about to use certain forbidden techniques to restore the previous scene. Seeing this, Lu Yu quickly stretched out his hand. Slow. What's wrong, human emperor? Goddess Xiantian looked puzzled. Seeing this, Lu Yu started to sweat on his back, but on the surface, he was calm. Forget it, if this thing is missing, it will be missing. It doesn't matter. It's true. The Hongyang lamp can dispel the black fog. Now that so many have disappeared, it will have a certain impact. Goddess Xiantian looked serious. Lu Yu was stunned when he heard this. Digging. Is there such a thing? Seeing that Lu Yu was silent, goddess Xiantian took action again. Etc. Lu Yu stretched out his hand again. What's wrong with the human emperor? It's okay, I just suddenly remembered that I have some stellar lights here, which I just made up for. With blood dripping from his heart, Lu Yu gritted his teeth and took out a lot of stellar lamps. Seeing this, goddess Suanation's expression became even more confused. Human emperor, I remember that back then, Hongyang lamp only produced the rated quantity. You're just joking, there's more to it than you think. Lu Yu shook his head and smiled, and then hung one lamp after another on the wall with great effort. How happy I was when I first took it, but how painful it is now. All your work is in vain. Under the attention of goddess Xiantian, Lu Yu lit up the entire aisle again. Goddess Xiantian looked very happy. The quantity is just right, not one too many and not too little. Yeah. Lu Yu's smile was uglier than crying. With bleeding inside, Lu Yu and goddess Xiantian continued to move forward. Soon, they reached the position where Lu Yu stopped. The body of General Tianri is still standing here. Seeing this, goddess Xiantian shook her head. Tianri, as a general of the Xinwu army, it would be a pity to die here in battle. Well, that's a pity. Lu Yu also sighed with emotion. After pausing here for a moment, Lu Yu quickly walked forward with the Xiantian goddess again. What makes Lu Yu strange is that after he reached the place where he first entered the old man's world, the original wall disappeared. What was displayed in front of him was still the aisle. "Boy, what's wrong? Do you want to come and see me?" "It's not impossible." "Then forget it. There are other people around you, and the old man dislikes it." The old man's voice disappeared. Lu Yu followed the Xiantian goddess and still continued to move forward. In this case, Lu Yu didn't even know how long he had been walking before he finally stopped. The road ahead is blocked. A huge fracture appeared in front of Lu Yu and goddess Xiantian. The Great Wall seems to be cut in half from here. Looking at the fracture, Lu Yu's heart dropped. Was the Great Wall during the human emperor period also broken? Goddess Suanation's eyes were even colder. It seems that it has been broken for some years, but there is still something lurking in it. These words made Lu Yu feel even colder inside. No wonder the old man said he couldn't hold on much longer. The Great Wall in the 8th heaven period has been broken. That period of the moon god's heavenly court. If the Great Wall during the moon god's heavenly period was also broken, then I'm afraid a catastrophe would really come. While Lu Yu was horrified, goddess Xiantian made a move in her hands. I saw a ball of light floating out of her hand and landing on the break between the two sections of the Great Wall. The next moment, a little bit of tiny light disappeared into the space, seeming to go far away. "What are you doing?" "Try to repair the Great Wall." Goddess Xiantian looked at Lu Yu with a strange look. "Human Emperor, have you forgotten this?" "Lu Yu. Damn it. If this continues, the secret will really be exposed. I can't ask any more, and I won't be able to ask if I see it in the future." Lu Yu thought to himself. But at this time, an ancient road suddenly appeared. Giants with extremely terrifying figures walked out of the void at some point, carrying boulders as big as planets on their backs, and began to repair the fractures. When Lu Yu saw this scene, his expression was a little horrified. Aren't these giants what he saw in the void? It turned out to be the one who built the Great Wall. So what are those strange species? Are the creatures released by strange beings specifically designed to kill giants? Lu Yu thought inwardly and followed the Xiantian goddess forward again. This time, the concept of time is lost again. The only thing Lu Yu could determine was the location. He is getting closer and closer to the position left for him by the human emperor. Midway, Lu Yu could clearly sense it. The black mist is getting thicker and thicker. Some strange creatures began to appear and tried to attack the two of them. Although they were all killed by the Xiantian goddess in the end, this also made Lu Yu feel inexplicably bad. Strange creatures were something I had never encountered before on the Great Wall. At most, they are some giants controlled by the black mist. But now, strange creatures appear. This means that the black fog here is probably already thick enough. Perhaps, this end of the Great Wall has completely fallen. This can be seen from the starlights. All extinguished. The corridor is dark. Fortunately, the goddess Xiantian has been taking action, so there are no safety issues. What Lu Yu is worried about is, if the human emperor left something there, is that thing still there? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 669. After walking forward for a long time, Lu Yu watched the coordinates getting closer and closer, and became cautious. At this moment, the goddess Xiantian grabbed Lu Yu's hand. "Human Emperor, there is something ahead." Almost at the moment when the goddess Xiantian spoke, black fog filled the front and a strange whisper sounded. "God Clan, familiar breath." Chapter 0506. Strange appearance. The blood pressure of the human emperor is a little high. God clan, familiar breath. A figure appeared in the black fog. An extremely strange feeling was spreading. Heavy footsteps sounded, and something was approaching in front. Finally, the big guy came. Lu Yu took a deep breath and looked at that direction vigilantly. A light burst out from the goddess Xiantian. In an instant, the black fog was dispelled. A figure whose appearance could not be seen clearly stood in the black fog. I didn't expect that there really is a bastard of the God clan. A hoarse voice came out, and the next moment, the black fog swept out. Light instantly burst out from the body of the goddess Xiantian, resisting the black fog. Her eyes became cold. Human Emperor, leave this to me. As soon as the voice fell, she stepped forward. Lu Yu didn't know what her realm was, but the fluctuations of the fight were amazing. The walls of the Great Wall were cracking and shaking, and broken stones fell everywhere. The ancient bronze box appeared above Lu Yu's head again, and he retreated far away. The breath was too amazing. Although this strange creature was no match for the goddess Xiantian, it was backed by the black fog and was almost in an invincible field. Even if it was killed, it would turn into black fog and appear again. Ha ha ha, as the vanguard general at the time, I thought the gods had been completely destroyed, but I didn't expect that someone still escaped. Well, kill you remnants today. The strange creature roared, and all the black fog around it instantly poured into its body. In an instant, its breath expanded and climbed. Boom! The walls around the corridor were shattering. Endless black fog was pouring in. Seeing this, the goddess Suanation's eyes were cold. You guys are really like a centipede that is still alive even after death. As soon as the words fell, an ice blue longsword appeared in her hand. The moment the sword was thrust out, the black fog collapsed. A big hole appeared on the chest of the strange being. Its voice was a little surprised. You are not an ordinary god. What do you think? The goddess Xiantian thrust out the sword again. Her sword seemed to be quite extraordinary, and the injuries caused made the wounds of the strange being unable to heal. In this case, the strange being was retreating step by step. No, you can't kill me. Seeing that the goddess Xiantian had already gained the upper hand, she was about to make the final move. Suddenly, the strange being turned into black fog and dissipated. Instantly, the black fog poured into the corpses around. Crack! The sound of joints moving rang out, and the next moment, all the God clan warriors who had been lying on the ground and had died for a long time stood up. Come on! Destroy the bodies of your people with your own hands. The strange existence sneered. The face of the goddess Xiantian instantly turned cold. You are looking for death. Although she said so, she dodged one of the corpses that attacked her and could not really do it. These tribesmen died here in the past, and now it was difficult for the goddess Xiantian to destroy the corpses herself. When Lu Yu saw this scene, he whispered to himself that it was not good. But the situation was like this, and he really couldn't help. While Lu Yu was thinking about what to do, the blood of the god suddenly boiled. The next moment, the golden blood rushed forward. The black fog touched by the golden blood evaporated instantly. The corpses controlled by the strange existence trembled, and black mist emerged from their mouths and noses, and were wiped out. No. There was a scream, and a black shadow quickly retreated, looking at Lu Yu with a trembling look. Who are you? Why can you wipe out my source power? Lu Yu did not answer this question. The goddess of Xiantian looked at Lu Yu excitedly. Human Emperor, you can't deny it this time, right? Only you have this ability. Lu Yu. I'm really awesome. Sighing, Lu Yu had to remain silent. The goddess of Xiantian became happy. The strange existence could not invade these corpses, and she drew her sword again, and the other party had no power to resist at all. God clan. The strange existence roared, suddenly turned into black mist, and left directly. The goddess of Xiantian tried to stop it, but failed. Seeing this, she looked a little embarrassed. Human Emperor, it ran away. It's okay. Lu Yu waved his hand. After determining the location, Lu Yu said. The place we are going to is not far ahead. Okay. Goddess Xiantian followed Lu Yu forward. After a while, Lu Yu stopped. Ahead, there is a dead end. Also, it is the position left by the human emperor for him. There is nothing here. Lu Yu looked at the wall in front of him with a puzzled look. There is no protruding thing similar to a mechanism. Goddess Xiantian was also looking around with a puzzled expression. Human Emperor, what are you doing here? Take a walk. Lu Yu said casually, but his eyes fell on his feet. Could it be underground? After thinking for a while, Lu Yu stomped on the ground. The next moment, the ground actually shook. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 670. Boom. The bricks and stones sank, and a dark entrance appeared. This. Lu Yu was stunned. Goddess Xiantian was also surprised. I have walked through the Great Wall, how come I didn't know there was a tunnel here? Lu Yu. He was sure that this was probably left by the human emperor. Let's go in and take a look, Lu Yu said. It would be best if I could see some consciousness left by the human emperor inside. Then I would clarify with this girl that I am really not the human emperor, so don't point your sword at me. The tunnel was very deep, and the moment Lu Yu walked into it, the surroundings lit up with starlights. Compared to the black fog outside, there was nothing here, only the footsteps of Lu Yu and Goddess Xiantian sounded one after another. The tunnel was very long, and after an unknown amount of time, Lu Yu stopped, and Goddess Xiantian just bumped into him behind. Q bullet. This was Lu Yu's only feeling. Of course, he didn't dare to taste it carefully, but looked forward. The road ahead had disappeared, leaving only a stone door. Approaching the stone door, it opened automatically. Inside the stone door was a stone chamber. Bare, nothing inside. The only thing that made Lu Yu perk up was the lines on the ground. What is this? Lu Yu asked in confusion. Goddess Xiantian did squat down and took a closer look. It should be some kind of teleportation array. It looks like the runes of our god clan, and it seems to be driven by blood. Goddess Suanation's words surprised Lu Yu. Teleportation array? I'm afraid it will take my own blood. Goddess Xiantian looked at Lu Yu. Human Emperor, what are you doing here? Are you going somewhere? Lu Yu did not answer the question, but took out a knife with a hesitant expression. I am familiar with bloodletting. But the problem is that many previous experiences have told me that every time I thought it was a vein, it was actually an artery. This. Finally, Lu Yu looked at Goddess Xiantian. Come and help me. Me? Goddess Xiantian was stunned. Yes, it's you. Lu Yu nodded. Based on Goddess Suanation's previous performance, she likes the Emperor so much that she is willing to hurt herself? Safe. Lu Yu closed his eyes. Come on. Okay. Goddess Xiantian nodded, and then stabbed Lu Yu's thigh with a knife. Instantly, golden blood flowed out like a waterfall. Emperor, your blood pressure is a bit high. Goddess Xiantian exclaimed. Lu Yu, Sigma. And before Lu Yu could think about it, the next moment, blood flowed all over the rune grooves on the ground. Boom. The Great Wall was shaking, and a ray of light covered Lu Yu. Chapter 0507 The Power of Teleportation, The Weird Source. A ray of light enveloped Lu Yu. The entire Great Wall seemed to be shaking because of this, and a breath that seemed to penetrate everything was spreading. Seeing this, the goddess Xiantian was immediately surprised and wanted to enter the light. But a terrifying repulsive force prevented her from moving forward. Human Emperor, Sister goddess. The two looked at each other, and finally, Lu Yu disappeared on the spot. A ray of light rose from the Great Wall, penetrating the void, as if to illuminate everything. Almost half of the universe saw this scene. In the direction of the Great Wall, a ray of light pierced through everything. Even the black fog could not block it. Someone whispered in the abyss. Such a terrifying teleportation power, what is this for? And inside the Great Wall, many powerful people were shocked. Even ordinary creatures could clearly see the light. It was extremely bright. It penetrated the universe above, as if it wanted to transcend this world. In the light, Lu Yu looked at everything that was shrinking rapidly below, with a blank expression. Mom, I'm going to sail tonight. In the void space, time lost its concept. Everything seemed to become insignificant at this moment. Lu Yu didn't know where he was going. With his own light, he seemed to have no goal or direction. Everything was in disarray. All Lu Yu could do was look outside. Scene after scene passed in front of his eyes like a movie. It was as if he was traveling through different worlds. Technological civilization, warships across the sky. Primitive civilization, half-dressed. There was also a warrior civilization, moving mountains and expanding the sea. Lu Yu even saw a civilization that seemed to be cultivating immortals, flying on a sword. Everything he saw made Lu Yu feel he was dreaming. If this wasn't a dream, what was it? You said that the first few, technological civilization or primitive civilization, and even warriors, did exist in the universe. But what was the last one? Flying on a sword? For one, Lu Yu could barely think that it was a joke. But what was a group of people flying on a sword? Comic exhibition cosplay? It's funny. In this situation, Lu Yu was in doubt. What on earth is going on with me? The coordinates that the human emperor gave me were a teleportation array. And then he teleported me away without saying anything? The key point is that what Lu Yu saw on this road was too unbelievable. It was like one world after another.